Welcome back to the channel Liberty Coin Value. Today we will dive deep into the fascinating story of the 2001 United States 1-cent coin, a humble Lincoln penny that in an extraordinary twist of fate can be worth as much as $434 million because of unique minting errors, anomalies, and rare characteristics that transform an ordinary 1-cent piece into an object of extreme collector desire and numismatic history. So imagine holding a coin in your hand that's officially valued at 1 cent yet has an appraised or estimated worth in the hundreds of millions, and you begin to understand why the world of coin collecting is as much about passion, history, and detail as it is about luck and careful observation, because the 2001 penny in question belongs to the long-running Lincoln cent series first introduced in 1909. Honoring President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and featuring the familiar Lincoln Memorial reverse design introduced in 1959, a design that by 2001 had been in circulation for decades, but the reality is that during mass production at the U.S. Mint, especially in facilities like Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, mechanical errors, die deterioration, planchet defects, and even mint worker oversights can result in unique, one-of-a-kind coins, and when these errors are combined with pristine preservation, rarity of occurrence, and an eager collector market, astronomical values can be attached, and in the case of the $434 million 2001 penny, experts have documented and speculated about multiple layers of anomalies, including doubled dies where the image appears slightly duplicated due to misalignment during striking, off-center strikes where part of the design is missing or shifted creating dramatic visual appeal, broad strikes where the collar fails and the coin expands beyond its normal diameter, and even mule errors where dies from two different coin types are accidentally paired together resulting in a coin that technically should not exist. And then there are planchet errors such as being struck on a different metal blank. Imagine a 2001 penny accidentally struck on a dime's copper-nickel-clad planchet, a transitional blank from a previous coin composition, or even a foreign coin planchet intended for overseas circulation, each of which could make the piece incredibly rare. And there's the intriguing realm of mint mark errors, especially the 2001 D pennies where the D mint mark from Denver might be repunched, filled, misplaced, or even missing entirely, which can drive collectors into frenzies because such variations are documented in official numismatic references and auction records, and when you factor in die cracks, cuds, where a piece of the die breaks off and leaves a raised blob of metal on the coin, clipped planchets where part of the coin's edge is missing from the blank cutting process, and struck through errors where debris, grease, or other foreign material interferes with the striking, leaving strange textures or missing details, you can see how endless the possibilities are, and in the ultra-rare scenario where a coin features multiple major errors in combination, say, a double die averse, off-center strike, and wrong planchet all in one piece, the value becomes nearly impossible to estimate. Which is exactly the type of coin that could command hundreds of millions in a competitive high-end auction between the world's top collectors and investors. And beyond the technical minting errors, condition plays a massive role because coins that have survived in mint state, or even proof condition without the slightest wear, especially if graded MS70 or PR70 by PCGS or NGC, become near priceless. And if such a perfect coin also happens to have a dramatic error and a documented provenance tying it to a famous collection or historical event, the rarity multiplier skyrockets, and the fact that the 2001 penny is from the turn of the millennium period adds a cultural and commemorative element to its desirability, as some collectors focus on coins from significant historical or symbolic years. So when you combine scarcity, condition, demand, and a narrative, you get a perfect storm for a record-shattering sale, which is how we arrive at the staggering $434 million valuation, likely achieved through a combination of private sale offers, speculative investment bidding, and the unique status of this coin as a once-in-a-lifetime find. And remember, such valuations also consider that there may be no comparable coins to set a market price, meaning the worth is entirely determined by what the richest and most determined collectors are willing to pay, and in the world of ultra-rare numismatics, wealthy buyers treat these coins not only as collectibles but as tangible historical artifacts and alternative investments that can rival fine art, rare diamonds, or luxury real estate in both prestige and financial potential, and the mystique of knowing that in the vast sea of billions of ordinary 2001 pennies, one or perhaps only a tiny handful have these rare characteristics fuels the dream for everyday people to check their change, search their coin jars, or hunt through bank rolls in the hopes of uncovering such a treasure, and indeed, there have been documented cases where coins worth 6 or 7 figures were found in circulation decades after minting, proving that treasures like this can slip through the cracks, unnoticed by millions of hands until the right set of eyes recognizes them. And this is where knowledge becomes power, because understanding the specific markers of value, doubling in inscriptions like Liberty or I in God We Trust, shifts in the Lincoln portrait's outline, distortions in the Lincoln memorial columns, the presence or absence of mint marks, unusual coloration indicating a wrong metal composition, weight differences detectable with a precise scale, or even a distinctive sound when dropped, can turn an ordinary appearing coin into a multimillion-dollar find. And beyond physical traits, historical documentation, authentication from trusted grading services, and publicized auction results all add to legitimacy and value. So if you ever come across a 2001 penny that seems a bit odd, underweight, overweight, strangely colored, misaligned, or unusually pristine, it could be worth a fortune. And this is why coin collecting remains such a fascinating blend of history, art, metallurgy, economics, and detective work, where the thrill of discovery meets the satisfaction of holding a piece of tangible history that connects past and present. And in the case of the $434 million 2001 penny, it's a story that captures imaginations worldwide, inspiring both seasoned numismatists and beginners to look closer, think deeper, and never underestimate the potential hidden in the smallest and most common of objects. Because the truth is that sometimes, the difference between 1 cent and hundreds of millions lies in a fraction of a millimeter, a fluke in the minting process, and the trained eye of someone who dares to believe that incredible discoveries are still out there waiting in the loose change we so often take for granted, making this coin not just a financial marvel but a reminder that in the grand tapestry of history and human endeavor, even the humblest beginnings can lead to the most extraordinary destinies. And the next time you pick up a penny from the ground or receive one in change at a store, remember the tale of the 2001 penny that became a $434 million legend, because maybe, just maybe, lightning will strike again, and it will strike right in the palm of your hand. We are going to explore in rich detail the incredible story of how certain rare 2015 pennies have been valued at a jaw-dropping $323 million due to their extraordinary errors, minting mistakes, and unique variations that have captured the attention of numismatists, collectors, and investors around the globe. And to truly appreciate why such a seemingly ordinary coin could command such an extraordinary price, we must journey through the history of the Lincoln cent, the minting process, and the remarkable anomalies that can occur, transforming a common coin into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure, starting with the basic fact that the 2015 1-cent coin belongs to the Lincoln Shield Reverse Series introduced in 2010, which replaced the Lincoln Memorial design that had been in circulation since 1959, and these modern Shield cents were minted in huge quantities at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, with the majority being composed of copper-plated zinc. Yet within this vast ocean of mass-produced coins, a handful emerged with astonishing minting errors and rare features that defy the norms of quality control, and these are the coins that have skyrocketed in value, making headlines and stirring collector frenzy. Because in the world of coin collecting, rarity combined with demand can drive values into the stratosphere, and when we speak of $323 million for a penny, we are talking about a specimen so unique, so historically significant, and so flawlessly preserved, despite its errors, that it becomes almost mythical. And one must understand that mint errors come in many forms, such as double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, wrong planchet strikes, die clashes, missing letters, and even the rare mule errors where obverse and reverse dies from different denominations are paired, and each of these error types has been documented in Lincoln cents over the decades. But the 2015 era pennies that reach this phenomenal valuation often combine multiple anomalies into one coin, making them virtually irreplaceable. For example, an ultra-rare 2015 penny might feature a dramatic double die verse where Lincoln's profile, the motto, "In God We Trust," and the date 2015 are visibly doubled, paired with an equally dramatic reverse error such as a misaligned shield design or missing design elements due to a filled die. And if that coin also happens to be struck on a transitional wrong planchet, such as a leftover copper planchet from the pre-1982 era, or even a planchet intended for a foreign coin, the rarity increases exponentially. And then consider if the mint mark itself, say a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia, has been mistakenly omitted, repunched, or even replaced by the wrong mint mark, which are known as mint mark errors. This combination of factors would make the coin a once-in-a-generation find. And when one of these surfaces in pristine condition, graded at the highest possible level such as MS70 by PCGS or NGC, it becomes an object of desire for the wealthiest collectors, and the bidding wars that ensue can propel the price into mind-bending territory. And it is also worth noting that the 2015 Lincoln Shield cents were struck during a time when minting technology was advanced enough to prevent most errors, meaning that any coin that slipped through with a significant flaw is even rarer, adding to its desirability. And these coins can also carry historical intrigue because they mark the mid-2010s era of U.S. coinage, a time of changing designs, debates about eliminating the penny, and increased scrutiny on mint operations, which adds a layer of socio-historical significance to the rare survivors. And beyond the obvious visual errors, some 2015 pennies may harbor microscopic anomalies such as die cracks, cuds, or interior die breaks, which, if they occur in aesthetically pleasing or dramatic forms, like a die crack that appears to split the coin in half or a cud that erases part of the shield, can become iconic in collector circles. And while these may not always command nine-figure prices, when paired with major striking errors, they can be part of the legend, and collectors often marvel at the journey such a coin takes, from an accidental mishap in the high-speed presses of the U.S. Mint to being discovered and changed by an unsuspecting citizen or pulled from a sealed mint roll by a sharp-eyed numismatist. And in the rarest cases, these coins are never spent at all but are found during internal audits or as part of mint employee collections, adding an element of mystery about how they escaped into the wild. And when an example with the perfect storm of rarity factors is authenticated and verified, its story spreads rapidly through collector networks, publications, and auction houses, creating a feeding frenzy that drives the price to unprecedented levels. And some may question whether a penny could truly be worth $323 million, but in the world of collectibles, value is determined not by intrinsic metal content but by rarity, condition, provenance, and the passion of bidders. And history has shown that items from coins to art to stamps can achieve seemingly irrational prices when the right buyers compete, and in the case of this legendary 2015 penny, the provenance might include documentation of its discovery, expert grading reports, media coverage, and a record of previous sales that steadily climbed in value until it became the most coveted modern U.S. cent in existence. And this phenomenon also inspires treasure hunters worldwide to scour their pocket change, search through bank rolls, and attend coin shows in hopes of finding their own fortune in the form of an overlooked era coin. And the lore of the $323 million penny serves as both inspiration and proof that the numismatic market can produce astonishing stories. And while most 2015 pennies are worth exactly 1 cent, the possibility that your next handful of change might contain a life-changing rarity keeps the hunt alive. And the educational aspect is equally important because studying these errors teaches collectors to recognize the subtle differences between a genuine mint error and post-mint damage, which has no added value, and serious collectors know to use magnification, reference books, online error coin databases, and professional grading services to confirm their finds. And as the market for rare coins continues to grow, fueled by both seasoned collectors and a new generation discovering the hobby through online platforms, the mystique of the rare 2015 penny will only deepen, ensuring its place in numismatic legend for decades to come. And this is why the story of the 2015 United States 1 cent coin worth $323 million is not merely about money but about history, craftsmanship, chance, and the thrill of discovery. A testament to how something so small can carry within it the weight of immense value and endless fascination, inviting everyone from casual hobbyists to high-rolling investors to dream about the treasures that might still be hiding in plain sight. We embark on a fascinating journey into the world of numismatics, focusing on one of the most intriguing modern U.S. coins to ever capture the imagination of experts and enthusiasts alike, the 2016 Lincoln 1 cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny with a face value of just 1 cent, yet whispered about in numismatic circles and sensational headlines for its potential worth of a staggering $332 million, a number that sounds impossible until we dive deep into the remarkable combination of factors that contribute to such a valuation, from its history and mintage details to the rare errors, unusual mistakes, and intriguing mint mark anomalies that can transform an everyday coin into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery worth more than a luxury mansion or a fleet of supercars. And to truly appreciate why this coin is considered so valuable, we must first set the stage by recalling the context in which it was minted. The 2016 D penny belongs to the Lincoln Shield cent series, which began in 2010 to commemorate the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln on U.S. coinage, replacing the reverse designs used during the bicentennial Lincoln cent program of 2009, and this design features the Union Shield, a symbol of national unity and preservation, with 13 vertical stripes representing the original colonies topped by a horizontal bar inscribed with E pluribus unum, while the obverse retains Victor David Brenner's iconic 1909 portrait of Lincoln, but the D mint mark beneath the date indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado, one of the key production hubs for modern U.S. coinage. And although billions of Lincoln cents are minted each year, the reason a single 2016 D could be worth hundreds of millions lies not in its standard form, but in rare, dramatic minting errors, highly unusual die varieties, and unique historical circumstances that make such a piece almost mythical in collecting circles. For example, errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die caps, wrong planchet strikes, and missing design elements have been documented on Lincoln cents throughout history. But when a coin emerges with a perfect storm of extreme rarity, striking condition, and significant historical intrigue, it becomes the holy grail of coin collecting. And in the case of the $332 million valuation claims, much of the fascination stems from unverified yet persistent stories that a handful of 2016 D pennies left the mint with unprecedented error combinations, such as being struck on experimental metallic compositions not intended for circulation, paired with a highly misaligned die that created dramatic doubling on both the obverse and reverse, along with a misplaced mint mark suggesting it was hand-punched rather than machine-set, a technique phased out decades earlier, and if such a combination exists in a pristine, uncirculated state graded at the highest levels such as MS-70 by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC, the theoretical value could skyrocket due to intense bidding wars among elite collectors who seek unique items to complete world-class collections. But to fully understand why errors drive such astronomical prices, one must grasp the nature of the minting process. Coins are struck using dies under immense pressure, and even the smallest misalignment, die crack, or contaminant can produce anomalies. While most are caught during quality control, a few escape into circulation, and when they do, especially in modern times when minting technology is extremely precise, they become instantly rare, and rarity in numismatics is a fundamental pillar of value. Yet rarity alone is not enough. Condition plays a massive role because a coin with heavy wear, scratches, or discoloration loses much of its premium appeal. Which is why coins that never entered circulation and were preserved immediately after minting in mint sets or by sharp-eyed collectors tend to command the highest prices. And in the lore surrounding the $332 million 2016 D penny, the hypothetical discovery coin would need to possess not just one rare feature but a fusion of several. A spectacular minting blunder combined with undeniable authenticity, perfect preservation, and a compelling provenance. Perhaps traced to a retired Denver Mint employee or recovered from a sealed bag of cents stored untouched since 2016, and when these elements converge, the auction world takes notice, sparking competitive bidding between private collectors, museums, and even investment groups that treat ultra-rare coins as alternative assets, and this has precedent. The 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle gold coin, once deemed illegal to own, fetched over $18 million at auction, and other coins with extreme errors have brought seven-figure sums despite humble denominations, so the leap to hundreds of millions, while seemingly absurd, becomes more plausible in the realm of extreme rarity, global publicity, and speculative wealth markets, and the appeal of such a coin is amplified by the human fascination with the idea that an everyday object, one that most people overlook or drop in a jar without a thought, could secretly hold the key to immense riches, which is why treasure hunting stories resonate so strongly in the numismatic community, leading everyday people to check their pocket change with renewed excitement. And while skeptics might scoff at the $332 million figure, preferring more grounded valuations in the tens or hundreds of thousands for even the most dramatic modern mint errors, it is the narrative power, the speculative allure, and the potential for unprecedented historical significance that keep the legend alive, encouraging in-depth research into known 2016 D varieties, which include minor die breaks, subtle doubling, and misaligned dies that, while not worth millions, still fetch premiums well above face value, and yet, in the collective imagination, there remains the tantalizing possibility that somewhere, perhaps in a forgotten coin roll in a bank vault or tucked away in a private hoard, lies the one perfect era specimen, the singular coin that unites all these qualities and sets off a frenzy unlike anything seen before in the coin world. And for the collector who might stumble upon such a find, the journey from a 1-cent face value to an unimaginable $332 million windfall would not just be about money, but about holding in their hand a piece of minting history so unique and unrepeatable that it transcends its humble origins, becoming a cultural artifact, an object of art, and a testament to the enduring mystery and excitement of coin collecting, proving that even in an age of digital transactions and vanishing pocket change, the simple penny can still inspire dreams of discovery, wealth, and wonder.